mushrooming of individuals claiming to be wealthy forex traders living lavish lifestyles has become common on social media, but many who bought into their supposed riches believed they were scammed.
They used us. They used me.
I just regretted the part where I trusted somebody with my money.
He even said it in court that he was not employed. So this is how he was making a living.
If you're using foreign exchange just to try and make money, you're essentially gambling.
Some of us got the job to make sure that our cash is kept safe. Nothing else, just to make sure that our cash is safe.
This week's special assignment questions the hype around this new wave of supposed forex traders and what people really need to know about this market. Yolanda Xakeka had been saving for a deposit to go towards purchasing a house, but she felt the money she had as an investment with a certain company was taking long to yield returns. Forex trading, which she had a bit of experience in, seemed like a better option.
I was actually running a live account of my own, but not an expert at all. I was just learning the charts, trading bits by bits, a very small fraction, but I didn't have time really.
She cashed in her investment.
I had about 50k. I spent 20k on needs I had at the time, and I took 30k. I wanted to invest it in forex because it's what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted to just do forex and see where it's going to take me.
She believed because she couldn't commit fully to trading herself, it would be wise to find someone to trade for her. She had identified a popular individual, Jabulani Cashflow Ngobo, who sold himself as a forex trader, and she thought he was credible.
As in, they post their trading reviews, as in this is what they did and this was the income. So they would show us their wins and their trades. So we would see the wins. Yes, there are losses here and there, but people really hardly show their losses. But he would post about his wins, as in, oh, this is the currency, this is the pair I took, and this is how much I made of it.
She says she jumped at the opportunity when Ngobo advertised an offer to personally trade for people on a first-come, first-served basis. The understanding was that he would manage their accounts. She sent an email to a designated email address, and days later he phoned back. She was advised to register on a website and then open an account to load money, and after that he would trade on her behalf. She would be required to hand over her username and password, and she would be able to see what was happening on her account. But she claims her account was not being attended to at all.
I was a bit frustrated with the account being dormant, because I had plans about how much. The decision I made was not just a decision to have the money sit there on the trading platform, but I wanted to see them perform transactions of trading in with other currencies, different currencies, as in that is. So when I saw that, I got frustrated. I tried to call him, and then a week later the account started moving. Whenever I would call him and I see the account is moving and is moving strangely, like I would do better than this. I would trade myself, but I wouldn't do these stupid decisions that are being done here. Call Jabulani, he is lost. He doesn't know what's happening. As in, it's clear that he is not the one who's trading the account, like he said. Because the trading movements that were happening there were very, very absurd.
She says she realized this wasn't what she was promised.
I would take screenshots, I would send it to him, I would be mad, crazy, what's happening in this account, because this is not what you had promised. And then when I saw that I'm losing about 15% of the account every week or every 3 weeks, 15% of the money is gone, I actually really got very, very, very mad, thinking, no, how are you going to replace all of that money that you have already lost now? At the beginning, you said there was going to be such increments, but now it's only a decrease of all the investments that I had put in. So when I saw that every time, there's the volumes that they choose to trade with are so big, unrealistic, that when you lose such a big chunk of your investment. So that's when I got crazy. I would phone him, I can see he's very calm and he doesn't even understand why I'm so hyped up. So I would actually call him, yell and shout and say, no, stop trading yummy and angsafuni all of this anymore, and because I don't understand and I want all my trading, all the money that I've put in back. That's when the money had really gone declining every night now.
Yolanda blames herself.
I thought about coming to the public about it, firstly, because I didn't know what exactly the police opening up a case is going to do. How are they going to charge him? What is going to be the case? At the end, it was my choice to go and take my money to him without a certificate of financial. He is not a financial institution. It was my choice. It was my own risk, freely so, to do that. So I didn't see it as something that the public, the justice, the law, the justice is going to help me in.
What are you predicting with the sixth parliament?
They've got to up their game.
Why is it so important for you to create platforms where people can share and grow?
I think there's something special about conversation and sharing of experiences.
Mkhwebane investigated the role of senior ANC leaders in the Free State, including then Premier.
Advocate Mkhwebane has never explained why she altered the provisional report in material ways.
The provisional report, there's no way where it's mentioning that the Premier is implicated.
This is such a massive festival, and what does it mean to you as an artist?
It's more than humbling for me to actually be showcasing everything about my music, so it's celebrating Africa.
Baletsle Mtetwa joins us now live. MNS attorneys were mandated to conduct these reports and investigations. What sort of processes did they follow?
We heard Tiamo explaining that they worked with actuarial scientists in order to investigate these transactions.
Slap suits, tell us more about this.
The concept of slap suits, which is a litigation often used by big companies to silence critics.
We as civil society won't stand for this kind of intimidation and harassment. If you come to South Africa, you need to obey the obligations that you have in terms of the laws of this country, including environmental laws.
This year, Nelson Mandela Day celebrates 10 years of a global movement that has made a difference in the lives of those with the most needs. Over the next 10 years, Mandela Day aims to mobilize governments, policymakers, corporates, civil society, and individuals to make a commitment by focusing on social justice issues and our call to action on the Mandela Day goals.
Jabulani, who claimed to be a forex trader, has many aggrieved people accusing him of taking them for a ride. They say they trusted him with their money.
Yes, boy.
They must either pay back that money or be jailed for fraud.
She alleges Ngobo was never honest to begin with.
In retrospect, I felt like Cashflow was very deceitful because when he comes to you, he spoke to me on the phone. Almost every week we were talking on the phone, especially now later on when I was shouting, and he came in very nicely at first when he was introducing the investment to me, but later on he became something totally different. He became, I don't know, a snake, or what you call a pervert. I'm sorry, because he didn't do what he had said he would do, and after he had wronged me, he just disappeared.
She still wants what she believes is left of her money in her now defunct trading account.
By the way, my $642 is still on that Smart FX Pro account, which is about 10,000 rand. So they lost on my account about 20k, but there's still a 10,000 rand that is still sitting on that account.
Zandile, not her real name, admits she was also attracted to forex trading after doing a 3-day course. It looked profitable. She has asked us to hide her identity for safety reasons.
I bought into the idea that banks are ripping us. We invest our money in the bank, and the bank themselves trade your money, and you are getting about, how many percent monthly or annually. So it was like I wanted my money to grow faster.
She says Ngobo's lavish lifestyle convinced her he was legitimate.
The guy is friends with everybody. Every celebrity. The life. He got invited to places. You think, okay, if he's invited to interviews, he's there, he's able to appear on TV, write books. At the time when I was interested in him was the time he was actually about to publish a book. And I thought, okay, if he's able to write a book about how he does things, certainly there's something there.
She explains that there was no formal agreement.
It was verbal and just a post on Instagram. Really nothing signed, concrete on black and white, but it was just an Instagram agreement, I would say. So it was just, also he would just post videos of him saying, look at my account, I never have a loss. So you guys don't even have to worry about anything. Those were the only agreements you get, but nothing really on paper. To say you'll get your profits.
She alleges she was led to believe everything was above board because there was a supposed broker.
When there's a broker that you think it's registered, accredited, and you are actually not depositing money into his account, but he says to you, no, register with a broker and then you'll give me access to your account from the broker side. You think, okay, the money's not going to him. It's going to the broker. So when we start to have problems, I don't have to deal with him. I'll deal with the broker. But it's only later you actually tie the two together to say, okay, the broker is in with them.
According to her, things went well initially.
For the first couple of weeks, he does keep contact. I remember I sent him a WhatsApp one morning. I can't remember. I was just checking, and all things were looking good. And I sent him a WhatsApp, and he responded and said, "Thank you. All was well." So only when things start going south, and you start contacting him, you'll just read your WhatsApp and he'll respond.
However, she claims at times she couldn't make sense of the transactions.
The fluctuations were a bit too much. Even the loss was like, you have stop losses, you have take profit and stop losses. There's a certain amount that you just can't lose at one go. But I thought, okay, let me just trust. And when I contacted them and they said there was a system there, I thought, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I knew that couldn't be a trade. You see, but yeah, that was then him taking your money and running with it.
One morning in May, she says half the money she had invested was gone.
It looked like a loss. In the trading world, it's just a minus, a loss. It looked like a bad trade. I panicked and I sent him a WhatsApp and I said, okay, you know what, I just noticed this on the account, what's going on? And he called me back and he said, do you want out? And I said, but to want out is not going to help me at this moment. You should be saying something else besides, do I want out? And he said, and I said, no, I don't want out, but what's going on? And he said, okay, everything will be fine. Nothing was fine a couple of days later. I tried now to contact him, no answer.
When she wanted to withdraw, she experienced problems.
And now the issue was, okay, let me try to withdraw what's left of it. You realize the broker is a fraud. Nobody's there. The system is there. The online system is there. You capture in my account details, submit. That can I have my money withdrawn? Then your money will not come to you. The system is there, but nobody's there to process your withdrawal.
Sarah, who climbed Everest, she arrived here with much jubilation.
I took every African with me to the top of the world. Most of the names on the wall are of soldiers who lost their lives in Somalia under the African Union mission in Somalia, AMISOM.
In Africa, we have Ubuntu.
We need to make more integration.
The highlight of the Zigama is the highest bungee jump in the world.
The main driver of that area is tourism.
Every high-profile court case, every breaking news story.
The manner in which these audits are done. Why is it targeted to blacks and Indians?
Every inquiry. We are there, front and center. We also bring you an hour-long breakdown of the day's markets, simplifying the numbers for your better understanding.
When everyone is too excited about the market, that's normally when things start turning.
All this and more. This is On Point.
The South African Reserve Bank received complaints from members of the public about Cashflow Properties, the company owned by Ngcobo and his business associate Dlamini. There were suspicions that they were running a multi-million rand pyramid scheme. In 2011, the Reserve Bank then appointed Integrated Forensic Accounting Services as temporary inspectors to investigate the possible contravention of the Banks Act by Cashflow Properties.
They had made themselves high-profile individuals, where there was a much celebrated birthday party of Mr. Ngcobo. I believe it was his 26th birthday at the time, and there was a massive party where the media reported on having R1 million expenditure on that birthday party, and that made them high-profile.
His report confirmed that Cashflow Properties had contravened the Banks Act. The information also confirmed that the company was in fact insolvent.
We found that both parties had been involved in a practice which we deemed to be in contravention of the legislation, where they had invited members of the public to deposit money, they called it loans, and they were offered extraordinary returns of 20% per month as a guaranteed return, and that's a contravention.
He says they identified about 130 transactions, which made up about 12 million rand, but they could not recover those monies, so the investors never got their funds back. He warns against being lured into get-rich-quick business opportunities.
That money is the next investor's capital which was distributed. That's the nature of a Ponzi scheme. So social media, unfortunately, has become a very dangerous form of marketing a scheme of this nature, and beware.
In the same year, the Financial Services Conduct Authority received 640 complaints from the public, alleging that Cashflow Properties was taking money from them and investing it in forex trading.
What they were actually doing was to advertise their business and train members of the public to trade in forex. And however, during that training process, they would also advise people whether they can indeed trade in forex, and in certain instances they would refer clients to a trading platform or an entity that would provide a trading platform.
Banda says Ngcobo and Dlamini were misrepresenting themselves as authorized financial services providers that could trade forex on behalf of their clients, and they were contravening Section 7.1 of the Financial Advisory and Intermediary Services Act.
If you trade for your own account, if I as Nomsa am trading forex for myself, there is nothing wrong with it. It is not illegal. But it's the moment I give advice to you as a member of the public to say it's a good investment, you are going to make huge returns from that. I am advising you to invest in a financial product, and therefore you've got to be registered with us.
Banda explains that they duped the public of millions.
They've just been living a lavish lifestyle at the expense of the people who have been working very hard to earn that particular money, for it to be taken like that and for somebody just to live a lavish lifestyle. You know, buy expensive cars, expensive clothes, living in expensive suburbs. And one of them was actually, he even said it in court that he was not employed. So this is how he was making a living.
Last month, at the Specialized Commercial Crimes Court in Durban, they were sentenced to 6 years imprisonment, 2 of which were suspended. They also received a fine of 200,000, wholly suspended for 5 years. They are currently on bail and appealing their sentence.
I'll make it.
I interviewed Durban Hawks spokesperson Captain Simpiwe Mhlongo, who encouraged aggrieved victims to still come forward.
Bazovulelwa amacala aphenywe bephinde futhi uma ngabe kuukuthi kanjani bebizwa basona lapho bezoma phambi kwenkantolo noma ngabe sebeyadoza basejele bayokhishwa khona ejobisini lapho bezobhekana nalamacala lapho.
Mhlongo confirms that 27 cases against Ngcobo and Dlamini were opened at the Durban Central Police Station. However, some victims just gave up.
Uma ngabe icala livuliwe umuntu akeze phela enkantolo ezofakaza asho ukuthi wagileka kanjani ukuze inkantolo ibulalele ubufakazi bakhe izokwazi ukuthi noma ikhiphe isigwebo iqinise isandla mafanele isiqinise. Manje sicela ukuthi abantu bavule amacala emva lokho umuntu athi ezwe ukuthi nje imali yakhe ngeke asayithola abe seyanyamalala ijuba athi hayi ngikhathele kulokhu ngixoxana nenkantolo vele ngeke ngithole lutho.
But just what is the hype around forex trading? We approached various institutions to educate us about this market. Neelan Murrah is head of trading at GT247.com, a company in the retail space that has an online trading platform. They don't offer their clients trading advice. He says foreign exchange is an essential tool.
Traditionally, trades would happen in the forex market typically to conduct trade between people or companies in two different countries. So imagine us being an exporting nation like we are, and we've got customers in the US. Effectively, if they want to buy our products, they'd buy rands in the forex market to pay the local supplier and convert their dollars to rands by doing that. And so traditionally that would happen. Naturally, going forward, in the advent and introduction of the retail space, lots of people have started trading currencies speculatively. So one can make money from it, obviously, but you've got to be on the right side of it. And so the forex market is the deepest pools of liquidity in the world. It's estimated between $5 and $8 trillion worth of value changes hands in the forex market every single day.
He says the industry has been tainted by fake forex traders.
If I had a recipe to constantly make money on every single trade, why would I want to sell that? I would just use that, right, and trade. And so you've got to ask yourself these questions. And so we don't get involved in any of that. We want to be the product provider and the system provider to enable you to do it. So it forces you to think, which you should do. It forces you to educate yourself, which you should do. And as a common rule, please, if anyone is looking to get involved in currency trading or FX trading or foreign exchange trading, please educate yourself. Understand the risks that are associated with it, because very often you will only ever get to hear the good stories. You'll never hear the bad stories.
The Johannesburg Stock Exchange says foreign exchange spot trading is not the type of trading they facilitate.
If an individual wants to seriously go into forex trading and they've decided they just want to take that chance, make sure you enter it with money you are willing to lose, because you're not guaranteed a return. It is not an investment that has a guarantee. And the short-term trading that comes with it as well. You might have a small win today, but tomorrow you might have a big loss. Nothing is consistent and nothing is guaranteed when it comes to forex trading.
Private trader Tom Steenkamp, who runs a virtual forex college, warns that it can become an addiction.
When you start trading, it's very difficult to stop trading because you want to do it more and more. And even if you lose at trading, it's also addiction. You keep on doing it, but you don't want to quit. And you don't want to admit you're wrong. You don't want to admit, listen, I had enough losses. I need to get out of this. Because when the market grabs you, it will hold on to you tight.
But some who say they have learned a tough lesson feel people like Ngcobo shouldn't have been given the platform to promote their work. Ngcobo has a book out.
After the whole thing, when you realize this guy is scamming so many people, but he was able to appear on so many media platforms, you question a whole lot of things. Even our own media broadcast, even the book publishers. I mean, what is the book about if you are scamming people?
She says their sentence brings very little solace.
Had it been me who invested 10 grand and traded and lost, it would have been, it's okay. You know, I just regretted the part where I trusted somebody with my money. And it's that. Don't buy into the fleshy life. The things that he has, the cars that they have, it's money from people who are investing with them, not from the trading.
They used us. They used me.
Special Assignments requested an interview with Jabulani, which he declined. He said he has been advised by